the minutes for the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Did I see Amanda's hand raised? And a second?
Sure.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. And I think just about everybody is on the call. It's great. So just in case the mayor has other things to do, we're going to let the mayor speak first and give us an update of the things that are going on. And then we'll talk about our Earth Day event. Good evening, Mayor Staffer.
Hi, everybody. So spring has sprung, so to speak, and there's a lot of cleanups that are organized by outside groups and some council members. On this Thursday, the 11th, Habitat for Humanity is coming in. This is their Women's Work Week, and they're doing a garden installation at the home of a female vet in Drexel Hill. That's at 11 a.m. And I can send Bonnie the details afterwards if you're interested. I'm going to go and help out as best I can. It's a 2-day project, so they're going to be working on it on Thursday, and then on Saturday, it sounds like. Habitat is also, I mean, they're coming in like full force into Upper Darby. They are opening their rebuild program to Upper Darby, and they're also going to host, it's in June. It's called Rock the Block.
Okay.
So, which is where they're going to spend the day and direct volunteers, and we're also supposed to help get some volunteers out to like one block in the township and spruce up people's lawns or help them with plantings, maybe even tree plantings. And it's the first time that they're doing this with us, so it'll, we'll kind of feel our way through it. But I'm pretty excited. So we have the veterans event, this Thursday, Rock the Block, and also the rebuild program. And that's if you want more information about, it's Habitat for Humanity of Montgomery and Delaware counties. So that's the host organization. The 13th, also on Saturday, Matt Silva is sponsoring a cleanup on Creek Road. He's going to do that monthly because we do have a lot of dumping there. And when we get our capital improvement budget going, and when we figure out actually how we're going to monitor cameras, we are going to have them in places like Creek Road. Creek Road is the road that leads into the Swedish Cabin. And did you want to? So that's Saturday the 13th.
What time is that, Mayor?
It's at 9. It's at 9 in the morning.
And meet at the trolley stop there on Creek Road, probably?
Right. We need it underneath the trestle.
Yep.
So on the 27th, Councilwoman Blackwell is organizing a cleanup at Parkview Park. That's also at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's sort of like a meet and clean. We're trying to encourage people through the Recreation Committee and anybody else to organize friends of the different parks in the area. And Parkview is real close to Observatory Hill.
Back by the SEPTA stop?
Yes, by the train stop there, right. So apparently we found out in the last couple of weeks that that entire parking lot and the playground does belong to Upper Darby. So we're going to send Public Works in there to help spruce it up, make it better lit, and address some of the problems. With there's a lot of traffic and parking concerns on Parkview and all the way along St. Lawrence Road that leads up to Westchester Pike. And we're going to have a traffic engineer out there because He works with Michael Ante, our township engineer, and we had a meeting there in January. And some of their concerns are going to be addressed. The engineer will be there at that meeting, also to let the neighbors know what the plans are for the township to address the parking and speeding. It's speeding, parking and speeding concerns. It's a big cut through neighborhood.
Sure.
April's a big month, of course. It's Earth Day. It's 22nd. We have Arbor Day on the 30th. And this year we're going to host an event on Friday the 30th. It's going to start around 10:30 in the morning. And we're going to plant about 18 to 20 trees at Sellers Library and the playground. Public Works is also going to go in there and remove a fence. It's the fence is between, it's sort of at the top of the hill up from the park, between the, there's a barn structure, that building, that white building, and the playground. So they're going to remove that. A lot of the trees looks like they'll be replacement trees. There's like, I didn't realize how many stumps are on that ground, but at least, yeah, it's like 8, 9, or 10. 10 of those trees will be sort of replacing what was once there. It's really a great spot. So I'm excited about that, because I think planting that many trees will really be very impactful to that area.
Can I ask a quick tree question, Barbara Ann? I'm close to Gillespie Field, as you know, and there was a beautiful tree that was planted right by the basketball court there. It was a beautiful little red bench, and it just was so cute. There was a little sign on there that it was a tree planting, and it was cultivated. And then this year they literally cut it down. It was in the ground for about 3 years, and it was starting to really look beautiful. And then it was just cut down.
Okay.
About 4 months ago, I took a picture of the stump because I couldn't believe that it was such a beautiful, it looked like it was like a cherry tree.
Mhm.
And it had really started to take off, and it was kind of starting to shade the little red bench, and then it was cut all the way to the ground. And it was clean cut, like it didn't look like maybe like a vandal, like vandalism or anything. It looked like it was deliberately removed.
Okay, I'll find out about that.
Thank you. I've been meaning to
it's
bring it up because it literally, it almost like broke my heart because it looked really cute. It was just freshly planted, and 3 years in, it was starting to really look like something.
No, that's a shame. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. It's not like the work orders run in front of me before
Right.
I do stuff, so I don't know what happened there. That's a shame. Maybe Bonnie, at some point you can talk about the grant that you wrote for Gillespie Park.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Go ahead.
there's just a couple more cleanups. On the 10th is the Darby Creek Valley Association's like 38th annual cleanup. I'm not sure if anybody's volunteered for Gillespie Park yet. If you go to dcva.org, you can see all the different sites. I'm going to be working the site. I call it Nailers Run South, and that's across Garrett Road from the entrance into, the proper Nailers Run Park. So I'm going to be there then. I'm going to be at all these cleanups, I think. And then on the 24th, there's a cleanup at, they call it the Muckinapattis cleanup, and that's behind Primus Elementary School. So that's a group that's neighbors in that area organize it. This will be like their 3rd annual cleanup. So that'll be good. I don't think there's anything else. So,
Mayor Kepler, for the cleanup on the 10th, and you mentioned Gillespie Park, when you said that you didn't think that anybody was signed up, do you mean there's no leader there?
no leader there. And then the other one was, at least the last time I checked, the Bond Avenue Playground or Drexel Gardens Park, which is near Hillcrest. It's across the bridge. The last time I checked, which was a couple days ago, neither of them had captains.
Yeah, I can definitely check with the tree tenders to see if somebody would take over that cleanup site at Gillespie Park and the Bond. We'll see what we can do to get both of those filled.
Okay, and then, well, I mean, really the biggest news for April is that we're starting weekly yard waste collection. We've never had that before. Previously, yard waste was, there's one collection in the spring, one collection in the fall. And I could really use the help of the EAC to get word out about that and to make sure that people, you know, they can put their yard waste loosely into a trash can or use those heavy duty paper bags, but it'll be picked up the same day as your regular recycling. It'll be taken to a local Delco mulch on State Road. So I think that's going to be a great way to bring our trash costs down, the tipping fees. So it's a
No
big,
plastic bags, right?
no plastic bags, no trash in there either,
Mm-hmm.
because they, you know, they have their machinery and they
Yep.
churn it and chop it and turn it into mulch. So yeah, that would be great. If that would be a big help if you collectively as the EAC could help get the word out on that. So
Okay,
I
well, we
think,
definitely can get something on our Facebook page, and then if others have other ways to spread the word.
I'm actually on the DCVA website, and I don't see Nailers, or I'm sorry, I don't see Gillespie listed for Upper Darby. I see Penn Pines.
It's for
Mail-in
Drexel Hill,
form.
probably.
I'm sorry.
Might be under Drexel Hill.
or if nobody signed up yet, then it might not be there either. It's like you have to email Sue Miller at DCVA.
Yeah, it's not under Drexel
I
Hill.
do too, and then
Okay.
tell her
Oh,
we're
it is. I'm sorry, Stephen. Yes, it is.
Okay,
I think for Upper Darby Township, there might be 15 sites.
Yeah, I see
6
it.
in Drexel Hill, 6 in Upper Darby Borough, and then Penn Pines and
that's great. Okay, thank you. Anything else, Mayor, before we move
I don't
on?
think so. I think Allison might have an update on the local climate action plan program.
Oh,
That would be great if Allison can tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are working with two fantastic interns from Moravian. They are energetic. We've done a lot of data gathering this past fall, and now they're coming in and really helping us shape the plan. And so the mayor is going to form a local climate action task force, and I will be reaching out. Probably we'll choose a member of your energy subcommittee and invite them to be a part of that task force. So and then certainly as we do more community engagement, we'll be reaching out to the AC, obviously, to ask you to encourage that participation. So, all right.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much. We're eager to be part of that. So we'll decide who's going to represent. And thank you.
No, the mayor will reach out to who she wants to invite. So,
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Either way is fine. Sounds good. Okay, so thank you for those reports. We're excited about all the stuff that's happening in Upper Darby around the environment, and that's very exciting to see all these things take place. Coming up, we have been thinking about our contribution to Earth Day in Upper Darby as the EAC, and we have upon an idea of having 3 in-person and / hopefully virtual as well, hikes on April 24th at 3 places in our township that will highlight really great natural spaces. And the first hike, and at each of the hikes, there will be a presentation around a particular issue. And the first hike is going to start across from Nailers Run Park, and we'll probably meet near the Dunkin' Donuts and at 9 o'clock, and it'll go till 10:30. And the presentation there will be on energy. And in a minute, I'll have the energy people after the recycling people talk about what they're doing at each of the things. The second walk will be at 1 to 2:30. And that's going to be a tour of at least 3 spots on the Underground Railroad. So we'll be walking in the streets, and we're going to focus on beautification in Upper Darby at that one. And there'll be a presentation, and we're working out those details. And then the third one will be at 6 to 7:30, and it'll be around Nailers Run. And we're going to end the day there with a presentation on recycling for people. So that's the general outline of the day, and we're working with Friends of Upper Darby Trails to actually lead the hikes, but the EAC is going to be in charge of the presentations at each of those places. And we'll take into consideration all social distancing, mask wearing, and making sure that people stay safe during each of those outdoor events. And we'll also, as I said, we're hoping that we can video the hikes and the presentation so that we can share it with people who are not able, who don't feel comfortable to come in person on that day. So that's the general outline. And Kristen, do you want to talk a little bit about the recycling? I know that you haven't been able to meet yet, but do you have anything to sort of general idea that you were thinking?
First, I do apologize to my subcommittee members. I know I put out an email a couple of weeks ago to do a Zoom meeting, and then life happened. And so I'm going to be sending out another meeting to Norm and Melody and Peggy, if we can try to get together this week or next and finalize our plans. See who can attend which walk, and maybe we can kind of put some kind of script together for recycling. But also I wanted to also mention to Mayor Keffer that we talked last month about how we were just so delighted that so much progress was made in such a short period of time with regards to recycling, and the newsletter that went out to the township members, and how we felt like all of a sudden there was just this great awareness about recycling. So I don't know at what point you start to see, results, but I think it's great what the township is doing already just to make residents aware of the do's and don'ts of recycling. So thank you so much for all the effort put forth in that. I feel like we're already kind of like a success story. So thank you so much on that. I wish I had more to report, Bonnie.
That's okay. That's great.
Yeah.
And by the way, today is Kristen's birthday, so she's going to
right.
be leaving us to celebrate her birthday with her family. So I wanted to get her on there first.
I have a unicorn cake right now.
Oh, wow.
look at that.
Awesome.
Which I just
Can't
put my
wait to
pictures
eat
in,
that.
trying to look it out. So I have my husband and my son on standby, waiting to cut the cake. So
Okay.
I
Well,
will report.
You go ahead.
That we're
Happy birthday. And, we have time to put that program together. So, and we have a good team. So
Yeah.
we'll look forward to that in the next few weeks.
And I'll
Thank you.
script something out, Norm and Melody, and just get together with my my other subcommittee members and see how comfortable everybody feels with the walks and what everybody wants to do. And maybe we
Okay.
can just put a little script together that we all have ready to go. I know we talked about ordering masks and stuff like that, but I almost feel like we might have run out of time on that.
Yeah, we're good.
I do still like the idea of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good birthday.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay. Mayor Keffer?
I just wanted to say, related directly to what Kristen and I have been talking about, our Public Works Director, Joe Martin, did say that contaminated recycling has markedly been decreased since that. And it was a little bit rough. Like I saw some stuff on Facebook and people didn't really understand, but I think the newsletter was a good start. Starting not to pick up recycling in plastic bags was a good start.
Yep.
And I think it's a message that we should get out at least once a month, just because new people are always moving here too.
Right, exactly.
And people forget.
Or a static. A lot of people did request recycling bins. I'll have to check and see if we had several hundred and then people did request them, and so that inventory's been pretty diminished. So yeah, no,
Great.
that's been good. So.
And also,
Mayor-
just as like a side note, I teach at Garriford Elementary, and we have something planned for Earth Day in April. And we're already talking to the students, and we're asking them, do you recycle in your home? And some of the kids said no. And we addressed a lot of issues with our 5th grade classes, which are now, back in session, which is exciting. And we said, hey, maybe you can take the lead on this. And some kids said, well, I live in an apartment. And I said, well, what do you do with your regular trash? Well, we take it outside. Well, you can do the same thing. So we're having that conversation with some of our young people there at the school, and a lot of them are getting excited about the idea. I think it's just with young people, I think you just have to introduce the idea to them that they can take the lead in their household and remind them that they're old enough to take responsibility for that. And so some of our young people seem to be getting excited about maybe taking the lead and being the recycling captain in their own home. So that was some
great.
good conversations over the past couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that stuff in schools. Norm, you had something before?
Yeah, I was going to ask Mayor, the not picking up recycling, which is in plastic bags, is that if it's all in one big plastic bag, or if they see a plastic bag in the recycling bin, are they refusing to pick that up too? That's question one, and then I have another.
I think it depends on who's doing the work. Like they might pick up, like say there's a bag you can see that's at the top of it, and they might lift it up and see there's recycling in it.
Okay.
And then they would dump that and put the bag back.
Yeah, good.
Right? But I can't vouch for all the guys because it's
Understood.
due to them too, right? So
Sure, yeah.
do things.
And I wonder, my other question was whether there's some pushback or reaction from townspeople who had their recycling left on the curb.
Oh yes, we've gotten a lot of reactions, but people have been calling and are, kind of customer service, the mayor's request line.
Yeah.
They're really good about talking to them.
Good.
Talking to people. I think I've overheard quite a few conversations, but it was rough in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I just, when I just made the decision that they can't pick it up anymore. And I want them picking up the plastic bag. So it was abrupt, but people are getting used to it.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean, I walk around within a 1 mile circle of Maple Avenue, and I still see plastic bags, but I've also seen them after the recycling folks have come by, still on the street. So I suspect that may be the best teaching tool we have, is to, people learn the hard way. But
not picking it up. I think
Right.
that'll work.
so,
Right.
so keep that
Great.
up.
Thank you. So the other committee was the Energy Committee. Norm, do you want to just report out quickly on what the Energy Committee is going to do for their hiking?
Yeah, we're I don't know whether, I can't remember whether Bonnie assigned us or we agreed to take the Nailers Run Park South hike at 9:30 in the morning. And somebody on our committee is supposed to get in touch with Solarized Delco. But I happen to know that he didn't send an email until this afternoon because he's been busy doing something else. But hopefully we'll get Solarized Delco to, I know they have some materials so that we can get, printed materials about their project. But we're going to ask them if they'll have somebody be there and make us a brief pitch as we begin the hike. So and we're also hard at work at putting together some materials for the our committee's EAC Facebook page. And again, several people on the committee have done great jobs and submitted material. One person, at least I know about, hasn't done his job yet, but certainly will. So we're moving on both of those fronts. But I think that the hike on the 24th we should be well in hand on that.
Okay, great. And I'll just report out briefly on the beautification team. So we met and we talked about what we wanted to do. And we're also going to have a presentation at this point in time. Amanda is ready to take on making that presentation around, and we're focusing on littering and the impact of littering. And we're also going to do this hike is going to go through the streets, and it's going to go to the Underground Railroad. And we're thinking that we'll do a scavenger hunt along the way so that people can make notice of things that make the streets beautiful and things that might not make it quite as attractive. So we're going to be sort of having people focus on various things to make our streets greener, cleaner, and more beautiful for the beautification team. And Fatia, did I say everything we're doing? Oh, wait, one other thing. So we also have this idea that we're going to demonstrate for people how to make a beautiful flower box out of plastic bottles. And this is something that Fatia brought to the, Maimona brought to the meeting, because she's on the beautification team. She brought this, and she and also suggested that we give out seeds for planting flowers, which I thought was a great idea. And we'll hand out some seeds so that people can do that great thing when the walk is finished. So that's the beautification for the Earth Day event. And I think it's going along really well. And people are, including Norm, who feels badly about not contacting people, but we, we're moving along. We have time. And I think by the time April 24th comes along, we'll have a great day planned. And we'll get some advertisement. Kristen already has worked up a flyer for us that will pass by the mayor and make sure that we can send that out and get that information to everyone and pass it on. So any questions about the Earth Day? Nope.
I excuse me. Are the hikes on the 24th, are they on the township's website and or Facebook page?
Not yet.
Not
We
yet.
haven't put out any
Okay,
information
all right,
yet
okay.
until, we pass it all by the mayor and get that all approved, and then we'll send out promotion of the event. But we don't want to do that until we've got it together.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Facebook page. Is Amanda still here? Amanda's still here. Amanda, do you want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing with the Facebook page and what our plans are?
Sure. So Bonnie and I met with Eliza, right? Am I okay? Good. My name sort of recalls not always the best, and sort of went over the Facebook page, made sure that it was in line with what the township's wishes were, since we are affiliated with the township, but we don't want to, we're not necessarily representing the township. And so we've got a couple more things to sort of wrap up before it's sort of officially done. We need to finalize the description for the EAC and also replace the profile image. And then we'll have kind of completed everything that we talked about in those terms. At this point, I'm sort of collecting everybody's content that's being emailed to me, and I'm in the process of sort of lining it up so we aren't doing too many things that are repetitive close together. And then by the end of this week, I should have things sort of scheduled out out of what has been sent to me. So the goal is to sort of minimize the amount that we have to do on a day-to-day basis to manage that. And you can do that through scheduling posts out. And then as things come up that any of you become aware of, things that say you see something online and it's an event or something environment related that we want to make sure that we are getting the word out about, then that lets us sort of pop onto Facebook, stick a post up pretty easily and quickly, and kind of manage the page really well from there. That way, the more posts we have, the more engagement we get, and the more content that we put out there is actually seen by people. Facebook's algorithm is such that you need people to see, like, comment on whatever you're sharing for your content to continue to be seen. So it's sort of a little bit of a feedback loop. So once we get rolling, which should be really soon, with a steady flow of content, if any of you are Facebook users, it would be great if when you do see the posts, you can like them, because that will only, or share, basically interact with the post in any way you can. And that helps get the post in front of more eyes.
Great. We found some great things to put on there. I think the content that people are sending you is really exciting.
The content everyone is sending is fantastic. So you don't necessarily, if you're currently looking for things to send along, please know that you don't necessarily have to write the post. I'm happy to do that part. So if you just find a really great resource, a great website, something like that, share that. I can do the couple of sentences that go with it. That part's easy, actually. So it's just finding great content to share can sometimes be daunting. So it's great that we've got so many people with eyes looking out for things that are useful.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you. So new business. So I just wanted to point out that we had from our two youth members a fabulous presentation, PowerPoint presentation on energy that they did. And they're not prepared to do that presentation yet, but we're trying to figure out the best venue to present it. It's a beautiful presentation that I hope that they will teach me how to do all of the graphics and animation at some point in time, because it was very well done, and we much appreciate it. And also, one of the things that is so great about sharing this information and getting the voice of different people is that I went to one of the public meetings for the Observatory Park last week, and at the meeting there, they asked for suggestions for if you had a vision of what could happen at this park, what would you do? So I gave the information that Maimona and Fatia had put in the presentation that they sent in their PowerPoint, that it would be great if there were signage that was more inclusive in the parks, and that was received well as accessible play equipment, which also was received well. So we'll see, where that goes, but we thank them for bringing that up and for adding all those great ideas and suggestions that we can use. I also wanted to mention the zoning board meetings. So if people have a chance to go to the zoning board meetings, they're very interesting and also informative for us as the EAC, because it's there where people ask for waivers on various codes for development. And so that would be very informative to people. I find it that I come away with that with a lot of questions and ideas about things that might be helpful in Upper Darby. So if people are interested, I can make sure that you get the dates of that. You have to sign up to go on those meetings, so you'd have to register ahead of time for that.
Two questions, Bonnie, on that. One is, can you distribute the agenda as well?
For the zoning board, it's
Yeah.
usually posted. It's usually posted ahead of time, and you can see what who's going to be there at the meeting asking for various variances.
I assume they have a time of the month when they meet. Can you tell me when that is?
I think it's the third Thursday of the month, fourth. Mayor Cover says fourth. It's the fourth Thursday. This month is the 25th.
And so my other question about that is, and this probably goes to the mayor, if there was something that we as a committee thought had some adverse environmental impact, are we entitled to file something or say something on behalf of the committee to the zoning board?
Let me think. So they're public meetings, so you can go. And you're asking me if you could like speak as like you would identify yourself as a member of the
Yeah, yeah.
Environmental Advisory Committee. I'm not sure. Maybe, but you would have to, I think, expressly say that your opinion isn't the mayor's opinion.
Mhm. Or
Well-
even or even the EAC opinion, because if we haven't discussed it,
Well, no, but I was saying that if there was something that was controversial that we were concerned about as a committee, I mean, no, I wouldn't
Okay.
go and say, I'm on the EAC and I think this, but could the EAC take a position on an issue before the zoning committee and communicate that in whatever appropriate fashion to the committee, to the zoning board on behalf of the committee, sort of as a formal statement?
Let me get back to you on that. And
Okay.
I'll get back to you before, the next meeting.
Yeah, good. I mean, I don't know of anything in particular now, but it seems to me, I mean, certainly that thing that they were trying to do over there with the garbage collection site or whatever they called it, that kind of thing we might want to comment on, or somebody's going to want to fill in a stream. So, I mean, any number of possibilities.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
yeah, and definitely, I think if we thought that there was something that deserved to be addressed, we would run it past the mayor and see, how they felt, because there's a lot of things that are involved when you make comment at those meetings, and we want to make sure that we're not creating a furor over something that doesn't need to have a furor created over it, but we also want to speak up we speak for the environment. So we do want to make sure that we're able to let our voices be known. So definitely we'll wait to hear from the mayor on that.
Right.
And there's a second question around that I wanted to ask, and a couple people have emailed me, Mayor, about this, and I don't know how to address this. If there are open spaces that people wanted to recommend to the town, purchase or somehow get through grants or whatever, should we recommend that to you through our meetings, or should that be recommended in an email, or how would we go about making suggestions around open space in Upper Darby?
I think we're having an open discussion about it now, right? I mean, what is there, maybe 5 properties in the whole
Yeah.
town?
So I can actually add to that if you'd like, Mayor.
Okay.
Delaware County has formed an open space task force, and I am proud to have been accepted as a member. So I will be at the first meeting on Wednesday, and then I can certainly make sure that the mayor gets that information and then can reports back to the EAC on the best way to, if you're identifying space is the best way to make that heard.
That's great. Okay. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, and the county, it could be a really great resource, right? Because they have more access to money than theoretically, right? So, and there's a lot of there's some county parks, but there could always be more.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm just speaking because I remember last year when I was not the chair had brought before the committee a number of open spaces that they were recommending to the mayor. So I didn't want to overstep that and start that process again unless it was, the right way to handle it. So, this sounds good, and we will wait for Allison to talk to us about what's going on at the county. So does anyone else have any other issues that they would like to bring up under new business? No new business? Any public comment that anybody has around environmental things?
I'm still interested in the bottle and can recycling for deposit, and the House bill. I think it's 575, which is probably going to get buried in committee. But as a kid, I can remember picking up bottles and redeeming them for 2 cents a piece. If I was lucky enough to get a quart bottle, I could get a nickel. And if I didn't have a job at the age of 10, I could get enough money if I picked up 10 bottles to go see a movie. There doesn't seem to be any business right now at trying to get plastic bottles or glass bottles or cans. People use them and just dispose of them. If there was a business that was trying to recycle those things rather than just individuals, I think we would have less that we had to pick up. I mean, DCVA picks up stuff once a year. Upper Darby Trails goes out 4 times a year. But it's almost a thankless task because as soon as we pick up several bags, there's that much more down. And we can't pick it up everywhere.
I think I've said this before. A couple of days a week on my morning walk, I take a trash bag in my handy little grabbers, and the number of water bottles, plastic water bottles I pick up is just beyond the pale. I mean,
Right.
those things ought to be outlawed just per se, but the bottle is a good idea. I don't suppose you want to recommend that Upper Darby have its own bottle bill, Mayor?
Maybe Stephen can start that business and it'll be a new business in Upper Darby. But what we can do is we can continue to have a campaign around litter and make people aware of the impacts of littering on not just what Upper Darby looks like, but on our stormwater and on getting plastic fibers, microfibers into our water stream and how that impacts wildlife and fish and ourselves, because now, those things are so small that they go into drinking water as well. So, constantly reminding people about not littering and thinking about good ways to get that word out to the public, I think would be helpful to start with. So let's think on those things and how we not just do it for Earth Day, but how we can make sure that this is something that we're focusing on throughout the year in our messaging. I think that's important. And also, I mean, if people haven't seen information about this, it's worth looking at. The circular economy, a closed loop economy, where people are encouraging manufacturers to produce things that actually can go back into the environment that they can recycle themselves. So you send it back, or there's ways to repurpose all of the things that people produce, and not so much packaging and things like that. So making people aware to encourage the companies that they buy from to take responsibility for taking care of those things. So that's another way that we can work on that. Anything else? I'm just gonna, if not, I'm gonna run through a variety of upcoming events, and then we'll get these out on our website, on our Facebook page somehow. No other information to share at this point. Okay, so as the mayor said, March 10th there at 7 p.m. there's the community center public hearing. I'm excited to go to that and hear about the community center in Upper Darby. And I heard it's going to be a great space. And if you can attend that, that there's a link on the Upper Darby Township website to register. Mayor said March 11th is the Habitat for Humanity project. March 13th is the Matt Silva cleanup. March 23rd, the tree tenders are having happy hour with trees. Bring your own bottle. And we hope that you'll attend and share the word. We're actually going to be raffling off gift certificates to 2312, which is a great tavern in Upper Darby, and trees as well. So we have a great program planned for the 23rd. March 27th, Daniel Blackwell's Meet and Clean at Parkview. April 10th is the DCVA cleanups. And we will post, if we haven't already, and I think that I did this, but we'll do it again, the sites, the link to the sites for that cleanup. April 10th is the EAC Network Conference, and some of us are going to be going to that. I learned a lot from that last year, and we will share what we learn again this year. April 12th is the EAC Subcommittee Planning Meeting, so we'll want to mark that on our calendar so we can finalize our Earth Day events. April 22nd is Earth Day. April 24th is the EAC Earth Day event. April 24th and 25th, the tree tenders will be planting trees in Upper Darby and various properties. If you know anyone who's interested in having a tree, please let us know. We have trees that we're happy to plant on people's property, particularly in the front where people can see them and enjoy them. And on April 30th, it's Arbor Day, and there's going to be a great event at the Sellers Library. And we will make sure that all of these get posted on our Facebook page and recycled. And I asked Amanda, and I don't know if this is possible, if Facebook has a calendar function. She says no.
Unfortunately, not in a way that would be really useful to us. You can create individual events, and the downside to that is if it's not your sponsored event, you've got to be kind of careful because you don't want to take credit for someone else. But it also is a little onerous to create an individual event on your page for every last thing. So if there is a community group, another organization that has on their website just a community events calendar, that would be something we could share a link to a community events calendar and point people's attention to specific dates and specific events. But I don't know if there is anything like that where there's one central sort of clearinghouse for the things that that we'd want to promote in that way.
Upper Darby Seed actually has a running calendar events, and so maybe we can think about making sure that everything gets to them, and they could put on a calendar.
That would be, yeah, that could be a really great option, because if there's no reason to recreate the wheel. If someone else has a calendar, and if the only sort of barrier is making sure they have the information, that shouldn't be, I wouldn't think that would be too hard.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, anything else before we adjourn? Maimona or Fatia, do you have anything that you want to bring up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's great. All right, well, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will be talking, I'm sure, very soon. So have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Mayor.